Anybody there? Hello, Michelle. Where are you, Michelle? Hi, Penny. Penny, I can see about half a mile up here. Not even that far. It's so smoky. Hello, Andrea. Hello, Heather. Hey, Ron and Heather. Hey, Heather. Donna, I'm going to call you today. Sophia, Andrea. Oh, you're welcome, Andrea. Hey, Ray. Constance. Good morning, Stacy. Morning, Marcia. Wonder if Doug Collins is going to get on since I'm talking about tax deductions this morning. Hey, Janie. Hey, Sherry. All right. Oh, so when I say, hey, Sherry, guess who answers?
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
I said, hey, Sherry on my Facebook Live. I was talking to Sherry, C-H-E-R, not you.
Okay. I found this on the web for on my Facebook Live. I was talking to Sherry.
Oh, my gosh. Right? Siri. She's always smoking crack. Hey, hi, Paul. So in the continuation of financial IQ, what I thought I would talk about today is the tax deductions afforded those of us in business. And once again, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, I'm not your tax advisor. There's Doug. Hey, Doug, figure out how I can bring you on. Some people I can bring on. How do I bring you on, Doug? I don't know. Some people, it shows me a thing I can bring them on, but yours doesn't say that. Because if it did, I would bring you on to talk about your book. So I showed your book when I launched, Doug. Doug sent me this book he wrote. I have to admit still have not read it, but I've been glancing at it. It is a book by a network marketer about network marketing deductions. And I don't think Doug is a CPA or a tax advisor either, so both he and I would tell you what we might talk about is just educational, inspirational stuff, but not in the category of tax advice. And so everything you might want to do, you always want to seek the advice of a qualified professional, and just consider us to be unqualified professionals. And I don't know, Doug, maybe you are a qualified professional, but I don't see that. I don't see that in your, yeah, I don't think you are, but anyway. So here's the one point that I wanted to make to you about tax deductions. I'm not going to go into all the things that you can deduct by being in business. Most of you are kind of familiar with those things. There's just one concept I wanted you to think about and incorporate in your perspective, because when I really understood this perspective, it made a big difference in how I sought out deductions. So here's how I want you to think about it. If you're spending $100 a month, let's say you're spending $200 a month on your cell phone bill, and that's with everything. And your tax advisor tells you, you can deduct $100 a month of your cell phone bill. Not all of it, because you're making personal calls, but you can deduct half of it. I don't know if you can deduct all of it or half of it, unless the cell phone is registered to a business, then you can probably deduct all of it. But it doesn't matter. That's for your professional to figure out. But if you can deduct $100 of it, then that's $100 on which you don't pay tax. So let's say your effective tax rate is 30%, federal and state combined. I'm just making that up. Could be 50%, could be 20%, 40%, I don't know. But let's say it's 30%. So you're saving $30 a month because you're not having to pay taxes on that $100. So you are in essence earning $30 a month because if you're not paying it, you get to keep it. You're in essence earning $30 a month tax-free because anything you save, you don't pay taxes on savings. And if you're not paying taxes on certain income, whatever that savings is, $30, that's like earning $30 tax-free, which if you're at the $30 bracket is like earning $40. Does that make sense? So when I understood that, wow, if I could come up with, let's say, $1,000 a month in deductions, that's like earning $1,400 a month, paid for by the government. So, you know, some of you might have watched the debate last night, which please don't comment on the debate last night. I'll just tell you, I was disgusted and disappointed. But let me just pick out one point. So everybody's attacking Donald Trump for only paying $750 in taxes, right? Like, if the tax code allows you to do that, then it allows you to do it, right? Now, did he defraud the IRS in his deductions? Well, you know, I don't know. That's certainly up for a criminal court to determine. But we are supposed to pay the least amount of taxes possible. And we should go after every deduction, every legal and appropriate deduction. I'm not debating whether his are or not. Who the heck knows? And I don't care. But that's our role. That's our opportunity, right? So if you can find $1,000 worth of deductions, you should find $1,000 worth of deductions because it's like making $1,400, $1,200, $1,300 a month from the government. It's just the way it works. The IRS code, the United States of America, incentivizes in the tax code businesses. Large businesses are really incentivized. Amazon doesn't pay any taxes. Apple pays hardly no taxes. It's a complete cattywampus wrong system. But for you and I as entrepreneurs, there are incentives for us to be entrepreneurs. Why? Because all jobs come from entrepreneurs. Think about it. The government incentivizes business because it wants people to go into business, to deploy their capital, to take a risk, to change their whole lifestyle model, their work and earning model from all I have to do is show up and I get paid a guaranteed amount of money to not only do I have to show up, not 8 hours a day, but probably 12 or 14 hours a day. Not only do I have to do that, I have to deploy all my capital to launch the business. I don't make any money until I turn a profit. I have all this risk. I got all this liability with employees, right? Starting a business is a huge deal. And so the government incentivizes us. Smart, right? Because the government needs more people to start businesses because business create jobs. And most people don't want to start a business. Most people just want a job, right? So you listen to the politicians, we're all talking about jobs this, jobs that. I'm going to create more jobs. How do you create more jobs? Create more businesses. Incentivize people to start businesses. And small businesses employ far more people than large businesses when you aggregate them together, because there's millions and millions of small businesses that have 2 employees, 6 employees, 9 employees, 4 part-time employees. And when you add those all up, they employ way, way, way more people than the Amazons and the Apples of the world. So the incentives are there legitimately. And hey, if you can pay no tax legitimately, that's the code allows you to do that. If you have a moral issue, well, then great, donate. You can always do that. Did you know that when you file your taxes? If you end up only paying $10,000 a year, you can send the government 20 grand. You can donate to them if you have a moral issue with the tax code. So however you do it's totally up to you. But as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, you want to look for every deduction you can get because it's like earning money. And, the typical person that maybe makes, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 a year and pays all this taxes as an employee, because as an employee, you don't get any good deductions. You can deduct maybe the interest on your mortgage and I don't know what else, maybe healthcare or something, I don't know. But you get very limited deductions because the government's not going to incentivize you to be an employee because almost everybody just wants to be an employee. They incentivize you to be a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. So if you make $100,000 a year as an employee and you start a little gig business, like a network marketing business, you can now create deductions not only out of your income from your gig network marketing business, but you might be able to deduct some of the income you earn as an employee because you're now investing some of that money in running a business. So one of the guys that I've studied for years, and Doug probably studies him too, is a guy named Sandy Botkin. So I'm going to let Doug, if you want, I won't delete it if you put it up there. It's okay with me. If you want to put a link where people can order your book, read Doug's book. And then Google a guy named Sandy Botkin. Stacy, if you're still on here, drop a link into Sandy's audio program, which has probably been used by more networkers in the last 30 years than any other program. And, I don't know what you pay for Sandy's program, $50, $100, but you'll get your money back in spades because Sandy will show you as a network marketer how to make about $500 a month right out of the gate just in deductions, just in taxes that you're not paying, which then become net income to you by, you make 70, 80, 90, $100,000 a year as an employee. You start a network marketing business or any kind of a small business. And Sandy will just go through a checklist of, 10 things where you can, $50 here, $70 here, $120 here. All of a sudden you got $500 a month. Yes, Doug, from a tax perspective, every employee should have a part-time home business for the tax write-offs. You're crazy if you don't. It's free money from the government. Now, you don't want to be out recruiting people, telling them the reason that you should sign up in my network marketing opportunity or my any other business is for the tax write-offs. The IRS frowns on that recruiting claim. And it is a conversation, a private conversation you can have with people. You get good at understanding the deductions. And you're talking to somebody that makes $100,000 a year as an employee. You could have a kind of a pre-ready-made worksheet they filled out, right? I don't know, Doug, if you've ever thought about doing this. Maybe you could whip up a worksheet for people. What do you spend on your cell bill? What do you spend on car insurance? What do you spend on automobile maintenance? What do you spend on, how many miles a month do you drive? What percentage of that, might you be dedicating to building your new gig business? Are you buying a new MacBook Pro? Are you now, so here's an example. So a new MacBook Pro is like $3,000, right? Well, if you don't have a business, you're going to pay taxes on that $3,000. You can't deduct that $3,000 if you're an employee. But if you're a network marketer, I'm pretty sure you can deduct that $3,000 if you're using the Mac Pro for business. Now, maybe there's some rule where you can only deduct 50% of it, but still, that's $1,500 on which you're not paying, let's say, 30% taxes. That's $450. You just made like $600 because you bought a MacBook, because you have a business on which you can take deductions. And there's a million other deductions like that. So if you don't get anything out of today's live, just get that a place that you might want to do some research is, given your current full-time income, given whatever business you have, how could you be legitimately and legally as aggressive as you possibly can be to get every deduction you can get, and then think in terms of that's net income to me. It's just like you picked up you'll think of it this way. Let's say you found $500 a month in net income deductions, right? How much money would you have to have invested to make residual income of $500 a month? That's $6,000 a year, right? 500 times 200, 500 times 200 is $100,000, right? So if you have $100,000 invested at 6%, you're going to make about $500 a month. So it's just like why would you start a small business? Well, maybe if you have enough income and enough deductions, it's because if you do start a small business, it's like the IRS sent you $100,000 that you go get to invest at 6% and you get $500 a month. Crazy, isn't it? So next time you're thinking about, this auto ship of $100 a month worth of product, or, the company's charging me $20 a month for, whatever, the back office or something. Are you kidding? We got the best deal on the planet, folks. There's no better deal than network marketing or any small business, right? I mean, if you're a realtor, you can deduct. If you're an Uber driver, you can deduct. You're an independent contractor. That's a business. Well, maybe there's soon to be employees in California, but most of those things are independent contractors, which is a business. And you don't have to start an LLC. You don't have to have a corporation. You can just be a business. You can just be a simple, low maintenance business to start with. And so imagine something where just because we launched a business, which in network marketing is, okay, I'm going to be a distributor. Sign me up as a distributor. Just the act of signing up a distributor means you started a business. If you're an Uber driver, just the act of getting the Uber approval or Lyft approval means you started a business. If you're buying stuff on eBay and selling it on Amazon, you just started a business. If you're knitting stuff and selling it on Etsy, you just started a business. If you're a realtor, you just started a business. Anything that you do, folks, where the income is either going to come as a 1099 or as profit, as opposed to a W-2 where you're an employee of a company, anything you do that's profit or 1099, that's a business. And you only need one of them, right? You don't need 9 of them. You don't necessarily get 9 times the deductions just because you have 9 businesses. You only need one. And it could be like, you figure out, this is something I'd have all of you figure out as an exercise, right? Go through the whole exercise. Go through Doug's book, go through Sandy Botkin's, find your own resources online. You can just Google, right? Tax deductions for whatever kind of business you own. And then look at your full-time income. So now we know your tax rate, federally and state. Figure out what you can deduct. So figure out what your net income, convert the deduction to, well, this is like net income. So if you're saving $500 a month in taxes, that's just like you made $700, right? If you're in the 30% bracket, $700 a month. So what's 7 times 200? It's 140,000. Rule of 200 from the 4-year career. Maybe Stacy, you can drop the rule of 200 blog in here for people. So if you're getting $700 a month, net benefit, that's like the IRS just sent you $140,000 to start a business. Crazy, huh? And write off your monthly auto ship if it's tied to commissions. Perhaps. I think maybe you'd have to position the auto ship as samples to do that. Probably depends on what you do with the product. Probably depends on what the product is. But here's, I'm not getting into the deductions, folks, because I'm not qualified to do that. I don't do my own taxes. Stacy's on here, so Stacy can, I don't know, Stacy, maybe you can drop. She's basically my CPA and tax preparer and has been forever. She's watching, she's on here. I don't know, Stacy, can you drop in? I can't, right? I don't even care about that stuff. Here's what I care about. Everybody, like Doug said, ought to have a gig. If for no other reason, then it's like net income. And the net income applied to the rule of 200 is like the US government just sent you $50,000 or $100,000 or $200,000 for you to invest and get paid an annuity of $200 a month, $400 a month, $500 a month, $700 a month. It's free money. Only goes to people who are solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business people. And that doesn't have to be a big scary thing with employees. That could be as simple as I buy stuff on eBay and I sell it on Amazon, which maybe you don't know what that is, but that's a crazy business that people do. I have a guy that used to be my VP of marketing at one of my companies, and he had a baby and his wife had a really, really good job and really good benefits, and the baby had a heart defect, so one of them needed to stay at home. So he quit my company to be a stay-at-home dad and started buying stuff on eBay and selling it on Amazon. And he's got like 3 full-time employees, makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just buying stuff on eBay. And I don't know how it works other than it works, right? So it doesn't matter if you drive Uber or you're a network marketer or whatever it is. Okay? Find your business, find what your deductions are, convert it to imaginary income, apply the rule of 200 to your imaginary income, and that's the benefit, the cash benefit in an investment. That's what it's like. And if for no other reason, that's why you ought to be an entrepreneur. And Doug or anybody else will tell you, you do have to make an intent to make a profit. You can't just every year file loss after loss after loss, because the IRS then can determine you're a hobby business, right? You're not a real business, and they can disallow your deductions. So you have to have the intent. You have to play full out to make a profit, which you want to do, right? The reason you don't want to start a business just for the deductions, but you can, at least for a year or 2 or 3, right? Anyway, that's what I have to say about financial IQ today. Everybody ought to have a gig, if for no other reason than convert it to net income, apply the rule of 200. It's like the government just wired you a big wad of cash. And it's amazing how many employees don't know about it. Thanks for watching. If you think this has value, share it. Today is Wednesday. Let's make Wednesday Share and Tag Day. What do you say? Share and Tag Day. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.